Ciao and welcome back to Pasta Amore, Pasta with Love. I'm Chef Joe Mele, and this week on Pasta Amore we're going to be celebrating a couple of things. First off, October is National Pasta Month. Don't know if you knew that or not, but I just found that out myself. Also, we're going to be celebrating the flavors of autumn, flavors of fall. So one of the most predominant flavors of this time of year is pumpkin. Go figure. So we're going to combine that with the art of pasta making. And how are we going to do that? We're going to step outside the box a little bit and we're going to make a dessert pasta. Specifically, we're going to do a fried pumpkin ravioli. That's right, you heard me right. To take it even further, we're going to do two flavors of pasta dough. Right? We're going to do a striped pasta dough with chocolate and with carrot pasta. Alright, so this is going to be a really pretty dessert, flavorful, creative, all that. So I know what you're thinking, oh my god, that's so involved, I can't do that. Yes, you can. If you took all the steps that we've done up to this point, you should be able to execute this no problem. Alright? So, in the interest of time, expediting this whole thing, I've already created my two doughs. Alright? I have resting a chocolate dough. Now, you say, how do we get a chocolate dough? I just mixed our durum flour with some cocoa powder, added a little bit of powdered sugar, and got the consistency that we've come to know and love. Alright, this beautiful dough. I also took fresh carrots, boiled them down, pureed them, turned it into a beautiful orange colored pasta to represent the colors of this time of year. So, we have our two colors. What I need to do is, if you remember how we did the pasta, when we did the striped pasta before, I need to make a base. Alright, so I usually will take my lighter of the two doughs, lighter color one, and that's going to serve as my base for my stripes. Alright, so we're going to roll out our carrot pasta dough first. I don't know if you can see that or not, but that gorgeous orange color is just striking. Now remember, when we flavor our pasta doughs, it has to be with natural flavoring. I didn't take orange food coloring, nor would I ever. Alright, so I always choose a food that's going to translate into this beautiful color. Alright, so I have my base here. And just going to trim it up and put that aside for the moment. And then we're going to take our other pieces, because we're going to need to make some stripes out of this. The right length. They got to be the same length as the base. Okay. So I'm going to put this aside until I do my chocolate. This is almost brownie-like in consistency. Really has a deep, rich chocolate aroma. And look. No tacky, I'm not getting any chocolate on my hands. Usually if I get anywhere near chocolate, it's all over me. I hope today is different. Alright, so let's get our chocolate stripes. Now this chocolate dough, we could just turn this into noodles and make a whole other dessert just out of this. If we did like chocolate fettuccine and we did it with a sweet sauce of some kind, how cool would that be? so I have I'm going to measure my dough. And cut this back together here. All right, so now I need to switch rollers. I'm going to get our tagliatelle or fettuccine cutter, as we call it. Okay, dusted a little bit of flour, the old Durham. And get my chocolate noodles. Gorgeous. And my carrot noodles. So, already it's starting to look like Halloween, like the fall, like autumn. All right, so I have my base, all right, my flat sheet. Now, next thing I do, if you remember, we put a little adhesive down here, a little water, just to hold our noodles in place. All right, now, one by one, we painstakingly, if you remember this process, it's not something we can do rather quickly. However, the result is bellissimo. So again, maybe Christmas time comes around and we want to do something similar. Maybe we want to get like some beet pasta, some bright red or pink beet pasta, and we make a red pasta and we do a spinach, and we do a green. We do a red and green Christmas ravioli or pasta dish, right? This is, I love it because of the creativity it allows you. So, always want to go right next, press it in place. Okay, you've seen this a couple times now. So, if you can master one dough, you can master all of these. Now, once we get our pasta sheet, our sfoglia made, all right, now we have a filling for today's pasta. Take your, just like your regular canned pumpkin or any kind of pumpkin puree, and you're going to mix that with some cream cheese, some brown sugar, some powdered sugar. Of course, you need your warm spices, your cinnamon, your nutmeg, allspice, things like that. You're going to flavor that with. Okay, maybe add a little flour, depending on how much moisture is in your pumpkin puree. We blend all that together, chill it. That's going to go in a pastry bag, and then we're going to pipe it into our ravioli shapes. All right, so we are just about done with our striping of our dough. Okay, if you remember before. All right, we've got to trim. So we're going to go right along the side here, trim it, and then we're going to right about here. Okay. So, what have I got? I got this beautiful brown and orange striped pasta. I need to kind of cement these in place. There, now it's one. Make sure you got enough flour underneath that it moves. Okay? All right. Okay, now if you remember, the magic happens when we flip back to our rollers. Right? This is how we're going to create our final folia sheet for our ravioli. So I'm going to take a little flour so it won't stick on us. And we're going to repeat, going right back through the roller. Little by little. Let it go down. Okay, we want to do this kind of slowly so all of our stripes stay in place until it actually becomes one sheet. Okay. Sprinkle again, a little dusting. Okay. Oh, bellissimo. Now, let's go back to the filling. I've got my filling now. It's chilling in the fridge. Okay? I'm going to fill my ravioli. And then I'm going to do something. Before we actually fry them, I am going to coat them in some flavored crumbs. Not just any crumbs. I'm going to take those Amaretti cookies that we all know and love. We're going to crush those up. We're going to use that as our coating, our breading for the ravioli. Right? So we're going to do that, shake off the excess. It's going into hot oil. We're going to deep fry them. They're going to come out nice and crisp with a very, very light cookie coating. And then those are going to be served. We're even going to marry this with, or pair it, what goes better with pumpkin ravioli or dessert? We need our coffee. So, to that end, I am going to make a sauce called Espresso Creme Anglaise. Creme Anglaise is another word for vanilla sauce. Okay, that's basically a very, very light custard that's going to be flavored with. Alright, let's see if we got the right. Okay. So now, I want you to look and see. We've got our beautiful, okay, brown and orange striped pasta sheet. So, going back to the creme anglaise. Creme anglaise is this really rich, velvety sauce. So we start out, it's also, by the way, the base for making ice cream. It's how we start out making ice cream. We mix egg yolks and sugar and heavy cream, and we cook it over a low fire until it slightly thickens. That's it. All right, so I have some later, and we're going to marry this or pair it with that espresso creme anglaise. All right, so our sheets are done. We have our old trusty ravioli form, okay? If you remember before, we have to make sure that we liberally flour it, okay? I'm going to grab my filling. So, what are we going to do with our sheet? First one goes down, just like this. Take our little egg carton, I call it, make our little indentations, and then take our pumpkin filling, and in each indentation, I'm going to put just enough. If we overfill, it's going to become shooting out the sides, okay? Okay, now don't forget we need to put our glue. We need to moisten, right? So anywhere there's exposed pasta sheet, I'm going to dip my brush in a little water. You could use egg whites if you wanted to, whatever just clear moistener that you have around to use as your adhesive. All right, so that being done, okay, we need to, now this goes right on top, just like this, and we just press it into place, making sure we go end to end, okay, just like that. We need a little bit of room, okay, just to roll this out. We take our rolling pin once again, okay, and we just gonna, with a little bit of pressure, roll it along the length of the form until all of your excess dough becomes separated from the ravioli. Okay, all this goes away, and then we have our tray all ready. Now, I'm going to go like this. Okay, and voila. You have your striped ravioli. We gently have to separate these. Okay. I'm going to turn up my oil because it's almost ready to fry. So what I'm going to do here, while we're waiting for the oil to get hot, okay, look at that. So these guys are ready. All right. I'm going to just go back with a little bit of, just because I want the crumbs to stick onto here. Okay, that's our cookie crumbs. Our Amaretti biscuits that we ground up. Okay. Put this aside, take our little bowl here, and we're just going to take and then just lightly, this is all delicate. We don't want to bread it so much that this becomes a really real clumpy, something that you would not be able to figure out what you're actually frying. We want to see the stripes still. We want to see the ravioli shape. All right, this is just we just want a light cookie coating on here. Because we want to get a little crunch factor in there. It's all about textures, flavors, shapes, colors. All right. You could put these in an egg wash and go through that whole flour, egg, breadcrumb routine, but then it becomes too thick. We don't want that much coating on here. We just want a really, really light dusting. Then we can use these, I'll show you how we're going to finish our dish later using some of these crumbs as well. So all these flavors are tying in. So we got the pumpkin, the chocolate, the carrot, we got the espresso, and we got the almond flavor. All those are warm fall flavors. All pair really, really well together. Okay, so we're lightly coated, all right? Gotta check our oil. Seems to be ready to roll, okay? So, normally what I do at this point, okay, this is a very important step. I will take these right now that they're all filled and coated, they're gonna go into the freezer only because I want that filling to set up. When I go to deep fry it, that could make that filling get really, really thin and watery on us because of the heat in there. So I'm going to freeze these so the inside of that ravioli, the outside will get cooked crispy and the inside will just begin to thaw out. Okay, so that step, obviously we're not going to sit here and watch our raviolis freeze, okay? But you want to put them in there probably for about an hour or so until they firm up really, really firm, and the inside of that filling gets cold all the way through, just so we don't compromise the filling. So when you go to fry it, it's almost, think of being like ice cream in the middle of that ravioli. When you go to fry it, it's just going to turn to water. It's not quite that bad, but that's the idea, all right? So when I made the filling, I made it a little bit thicker. I added a touch of flour to it. I added the cream cheese, the pumpkin puree, just so that it has a little bit of texture to it, a little bit of body to it, all right? So I'm gonna just clean up here a little bit because I want to get our plate ready for the final presentation. So at this point, if you're having a dinner party, they could be in the freezer, everything else done, okay? You could excuse yourself from the dinner, run in the kitchen, deep fry these real quick, and plate them, okay? So again, something that can be done ahead of time, and you can wow your guests. All right, so let's just say, all right, I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. My oil's a little bit hot. Let that cool up just a second. I'm gonna pull out my raviolis. Just wanted to make sure we went through that step just so that when you're making these, they have a chance to firm up, okay? So, I'm gonna have my hot oil. And actually, it should be about 375. Because you want it to go quick and you don't want that filling to get too overcooked. So these aren't taking very long at all. You saw how fast, right? Went into the hot oil. You got to stay on top of it. Okay. And that little bit of coating on there, it's still stuck to it, okay? It's still giving a little bit of texture to the outside of that ravioli. Okay. So, what have we got here? And now we're going to go to the plating process. We got our raviolis that have been fried, so you can see, okay, that coating. You can see the stripes. They become very pronounced now, very, very pretty. All right, so let's, what I do next is I take a little powdered sugar for these guys, okay? And we're just gonna go like this. Lightly, we still want to see the stripes, okay? So, I have my creme anglaise, okay? I'm gonna fill, just to make this look cool, okay, I'm gonna put some of our creme anglaise dipping sauce into an espresso cup. How apropos, right? It's an espresso creme anglaise. So, that goes on my plate. And if you wanted to, you can further take your creme anglaise if you wanted it to be a little bit fancy. You could do something like a few dots on a plate, okay? And then you could take your ravioli, a così. Let's keep it simple, okay? Like that, and we're gonna finish this. Gotta have cream, I mean, really. It's not decadent enough already. All right, so we're gonna do a little, all right, a little dollop of whipped cream. And we're gonna take that little almond cookie that we originally had, right? So if you were to set that in front of your guests, okay, I think they would be impressed. Right? If you excuse yourself from your dinner, oh, I gotta go get the dessert, I'll be right out, okay? I think they'd be blown away by the time you got back with this dish. So it looks gorgeous, okay? So, I mean, I'm not gonna mess up this right now, but I do wanna go in here and I wanna go like this, because this is what we would do. We would dip a little bit of here, right? We'd probably go over here, take a little whipped cream. And that pumpkin explodes in your mouth. The cinnamon, nutmeg, all those flavors. Oh my God. I think my camera crew is mouth watering over here. I think they're ready for some. Anyway, try this, guys. It's not that difficult, okay? Step by step. How long did this take? I don't know, 10 minutes? You don't know what I went through before this, but anyways, go ahead and do this. I think your guests will love it. Ciao, happy Thanksgiving, happy pasta month, happy World Series, happy football, tailgating, whatever you want to do. All right, until next time. Joe Mele saying ciao, ciao, ciao.